So we got some pretty exciting things lined up for you today. We're going to be going into a mine and looking at some really old mine cars. Now you probably don't understand the difference between old cars and new cars. The big difference is the period of mining that we're dealing with is between about the late 1800s, 1890s, till about 1920. Now to begin with, in the 1890s, there was no cars, there was no roads, basically no electricity, there was no arc welding. So if you were mining somewhere and you wanted a mine cart, you basically had to just get the parts, and a blacksmith made it, and they didn't weld it. Everything was riveted together, and they just got the parts, and they were handcrafted. Pretty interesting old carts. They may use wood as much as they could have. We're going to show you some of these real old cars, and we'll show you the difference between old mine cars and the newer mine cars. So this is a pretty nice looking car, and I'll just kind of explain the features to you. Look at the wheels, eh? So this car actually had ball bearings in it and a tipping table. Now this whole car is made out of steel. It's a very beautiful car. It's probably made back in about the 1930s. When we're done in the shop today, we're going to go underground and look at some really old cars. Just fascinating. So this is a really old mine cart. It's a smaller hand cart, and it's completely made. If you look at it pretty closely here, there's no welding on it whatsoever. This whole thing is all riveted, right? And here are the parts. You know, when they ordered these cars, they just got all the parts. And see, there's the axle and the wheels. You notice there's no bearings on this at all. There's this. You can see this hole here, and that's where they put the oil in there to lubricate these axles. There's no bearings on them, and they made the frame out of wood, and they're all differently made. They just got all the parts and put it together. Welcome to the gold drop.
Is that your handiwork?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I used the whole case of this. I used the whole case of this paint. Here's another one of those connections for the electric cars right here. Yeah. Well, I know my way through here pretty good, so for the first part, anyways. See, some of this has fallen off over the years. Yeah, there's more of those connections. This is where the big railway came in here, electric trains that hauled waste rock out of the gold drop mine.
That's a big box, eh?
Yeah, lots of ore chutes. And seems pretty warm in here today. But this wasn't the frozen part.
I was expecting colder.
It might be a little colder once we get past this narrow spot. The door of the fridge. I remember seeing this frozen. Oh yeah, it's still frozen here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's ice right there. This is almost the same as it was last year. Might be melted a little bit.
Oh, fuck yeah. Nice.
So here it is fall time. We're just a little ways inside the door. And she's frozen.
All ice.
Maybe not quite as frozen as it was last year, but not much different. See how close we are to the door? It is frozen like 100 feet in, eh? It's amazing how it stays frozen like that. So let's make our way to the ice palace and we'll see if that's still frozen or if it's thawed out for us. Be interesting to see the changes from year to year. So that's the narrow spot we got to go through. It's not very far through there, so. And these, I was kind of hoping some of these would thaw out and I'd be able to see where they went, but they didn't, eh? They're still frozen, solid, same as they always are. There's no idea what could be in there. Weird how they stay frozen.
Yeah, especially for all these years.
So I got these timbers holding the back up here.
Yeah.
So there's some cool boxes in here. I don't know if they've thawed out at all. A little.
Oh yeah. What the fuck do you even know?
I was kind of hoping maybe something would.
Drill rods?
Oh, there's a spare axe handle. That's thawed out since last year. I never seen it last year. It was right full of ice. So I got a little bit of thawing here. Isn't that a cool box?
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Big heavy duty. Oh, and there's part of a mine car. There's actually. This is one of those large handmade mine carts. So this is all made out of wood, and they're all unique. They're differently made. They're handmade. Like I say, they just buy the parts and they assemble them in Grand Forks. So you can really notice that if you look at where the wheels are way offset to it. So the reason is when it tips up, so it doesn't flip over. Kind of interesting. The wheels are far more. See, it tips to the right there. Those pins are in the middle, and that's where it tips over. And that's the type of mine car that has, that was like the newer Granby style cars, except you actually had to manually tip these over. This is the top of that same car. See, it turns, it flips over to the left, right towards you. That's where the gate is. It would have opened. So you look at this all, it's pretty much all made out of wood. There isn't very much metal on it all. So all the metal pieces would have been ordered, and then it would have been assembled either. Probably maybe even right at the mine site. They might have had a shop there that built those cars or close by. Very old cart, probably made around 1900, I think. By about 1905, they started making metal cars in Grand Forks. Here are 10 ore carts, all parked together in this siding. Now, the story behind this is these ore carts would have been built from pieces before there was any railways or anything up to the mines. There's no way they could have ordered these ore carts and got them to Grand Forks. So they had to build them in pieces, and these were the very first ore carts that would have been used in this mine. Later on, this mine started around 1900. Later on, three of the biggest mines merged together to form the Granby Copper Corporation, and then they brought in electric railways, and the two railways actually came right up to the mine. So after that, they can get stuff like this into the mine. So these would have been built on site. They're all a little bit different. They're mostly made out of wood. So the Granby car was something that was invented in Grand Forks, and this isn't a Granby car. The Granby car is all metal, and it has wheels on the one side. Now these tip to the one side. The newer versions of it actually, a ramp run the wheels up there, and it tipped to the left. So then it was an auto tipping car. These ones would have been manually tipped. So the reason why these cars are here is when the Granby started their big car shop in Grand Forks, they invented these far better all metal cars because they were able to get freight into Grand Forks after the railways and everything was developed better than the mines. So these cars would have become obsolete. There's documentation, I think it's either 1905 or 1910, they built 20 brand new Granby cars. So this is what they would have had. The Granby car actually were replaced these cars. So these cars were just pushed in here, they were obsolete, and they never got used. There's a chicken there, a little bit of miners' graffiti. So anyway, so these cars here actually were parked here because they became obsolete when they invented the Granby car. So this is just the end of a siding, and it's really cool to see these. The very old cars, yeah, like I say, they're probably built around 1900, or right in that area, I would estimate. And these cars just parked here because they're obsolete. And The newer Granby cars would have been sold or moved to a newer mine because they could have used them, but they had absolutely no use for these. They're not really in that good a shape anyhow. They're beat up. The one actually still had ore in it. So, but yeah, just really fascinating to see these old cars, hand-made cars. Probably maybe a blacksmith might have made them. I'm not really sure what trade that would have been, but yeah, really exciting to see these large cars. They were probably, they may have been pulled by mules, probably more likely than not. There was stables underneath this mine when they first started, because when there was no railways going to the country, there's no way they could have got locomotives to the mines. Everything would have been hauled with teams of horses, so freight would have been very expensive. So they would have started with probably mules. And these cars, people think they use these cars for ore, but their main purpose was actually to haul waste rock out of the mines. And they hauled a lot of waste rock and dumped it over the. When you're building a tunnel, that isn't material that's mineralized type of material. Most of it is just waste that they just dump over the bank. And then, of course, they haul ore also, but it depends on how the mine is set up. But this is, some of these cars are pretty rotten. They're all a little different. Some of them they use chains. If you look at there's chains that just pull up. See those bumpers, and there's chains, and other ones were pinned together. So they had various. Here you can see the chain pretty good. There's no pin that holds them together. They're just chained together, like elephants or something, I guess, walking in a row. And the other ones had pins. So. Like I said, they're all unique because they were hand built during that time, and they come up with different innovations. It's actually fascinating to see how things evolved from when they first started mining there. They could just bring supplies up with horses and stuff, and then towards the end when the mine shut down around 1919, they had two big major railways and a big town and electricity and everything. So there's just a huge difference in technology in that 25 years. I mean, they went from, the motor vehicles weren't even invented to around 1920, they would start seeing cars on the road and stuff. So, just a huge change in that time in technology and the way things were done. With the Granby cars and stuff later on, they had electric railway in there and big locomotives that pulled all these cars out, or pulled cars like this out. So it's pretty fascinating to see these really old early cars. There's no newer cars in there at all from the 1920s. These are all older than that. So here's the electric train and up at Phoenix, and this is the brand new Granby car that they invented right here in Grand Forks, tipping ore. This car is all made out of metal, and it's still produced today and shipped all over the world and used in mining. Well, it could always be... Oh, this is getting more and more thawed out. I wonder if I can just open that and just, maybe gonna be a little hard on the hinges, but eventually I'm hoping it'll, I could break that up with something.
That's something.
It'll take a long time, eh? So let's see, have a look and see what's thawed out here. We've never been able to get into here because it was all frozen. But it looks like we have some melting. Yeah, she's pretty tight in there. All right, we'll carry on up to the ice palace here. We won't get our feet too wet. Oh, the water's lower than it was. Because I put these boards up here. And I used to kind of get my feet a little wet coming through this part, so. Yeah, it's probably about 6 inches lower than it's been historically, the water in this part. Yeah, just up here it's dry. Never been wet past here. So we're gonna make sure that's not a false floor. I don't think it is, but as things thaw out, they may become.
I can't see that there's a hole in there.
I don't think so, but I wouldn't venture out too far.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, if it's full of water, it's not bad. If you fall through, you can swim, right?
Yeah.
If there's air under there, well, then you got a problem because you can't fly. Here's the ice palace. It's called the ice palace. No, it's still full of ice. Still full of ice. It's got like 3 feet of ice there at least. Solid ice. Amazing, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely, those other lights would definitely help here.
Yeah, you get it. This isn't even the big stope, but it's fair size.
Change the mood.
Wow, that is a hell of a shot. Oh, solid ice. There's an horseshoe going down, which we can get down easy with the rope, but you can't get down there easy without a rope. Well, no.
Yeah. Maybe a little easier coming down.
There's a big slab of ice that broke off. Yeah, this has melted quite a bit from what it was last year. Can you see under there? It's just kind of a gentle slope.
Just melted the snow at the ends.
Yeah. These are a bunch of explosive boxes here. They're all rotted here. Well, we'll continue on down the red line. There's another drill, piece of drill, steel there, sitting here. Been sitting there for 100 years too, I imagine. Right, so this is where this overpass is that me and Ben went down. It looks really nasty, but once you get down that first part, you can just walk right down. And it goes down to the lower levels of the mine, a whole bunch of real cool stuff. But yeah, you need a. Actually, I got my ladder. That's what I did. I had that ladder. We used a ladder going down. I've got a chain ladder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We have to put chain ladder. We tied it onto a rope, but it'd be just easy to use the rope go down there. It almost feels like we're feeling some airflow in here. That's a pretty long tunnel going in here. Interesting sedimentary rock in here. It's kind of caves down more until you get to the end. It doesn't cave right down, but there's more rubble on the floor. It's obviously much softer than some of the other material is. Just about at a vertical angle here. So I'm assuming this went right out the pit somewhere, and then they dumped waste rock on top of it. Got just a little cubby hole maybe in here for explosives or something, eh?
They got a hook in the ceiling there. Maybe you could lift up on the
Yeah,
cars.
there was a bench here, eh? Yeah, some kind of a bench here.
Cars came in or something.
Yeah. More sedimentary type formations in here.
Yeah, like a limestone or even. But
Yeah, fairly soft,
it
eh?
doesn't flow like.
Fairly soft.
Oh, maybe it is flowing like limestone.
I mean, if it hasn't fallen down in 120 years, I don't think it's going to fall because we're walking under it, but it's definitely more of a sand, almost like a sandstone. There's something called a sharp stone too. I don't know what it looks like. That's a common formation here. Interesting how those round holes, they kind of
Layers, eh?
see them. There's almost like a real soft material in there. Oh, soft that is. I wonder what that is, eh? It's not shiny at all. I don't know what that would be. It's interesting, eh? It's a layer between layers of this material here. Yeah, quite soft. Sedimentary layer in between these.
Coal, it's not a million years old enough, or
Looks almost like a cement. Oh, look how flat that rock is up there, eh? How well formed it is. We don't have too much further to get to the end. But this looks like it's peeled off over the. But I guess it just kind of peeled off into that solid layer. That looks pretty nasty. Looks pretty steep. Alright, well. Yeah. Oh, there's an old pipe wrench and some nails. Pretty rusty. Well, not a pipe wrench, it's an adjustable wrench. I've got some of them at home that are actually in good shape. I'm not sure what that actually done. Well,
I actually found one back there, but you were a ways ahead of me.
big copper cable though, eh? Look at the size of that copper, eh?
Good to go.
Yep. It looks like a really steep slope here, but it's actually not bad. This stuff's pretty stable. Kevin's just coming up here. And we had this rope here from last year. I was too squeamish to go down here without the rope, so I left my rope here. So it's been handy for us this year. So we'll just continue up into this big stoped area here. Actually, I'll just move aside here and you can carry on. Oh yeah, it's tied up right to there.
Is it good?
Yeah. Doesn't get any steeper. I mean, you just barely even need the rope, but it's nice to have it just.
It's nice to have.
You don't need to put a lot of weight on it, but it's just kind of nice to have it, yeah. And this stuff here, you know, it looks really loose, but this flowstone just makes this like concrete.
Oh, it just
Amazing, hey? The flowstone is just cemented everything in. It's not loose at all. Just beautiful walking up here. It's kind of raining in here though. There we go. Easy walking up this stuff, eh?
not bad.
Even though it's steep, it's not loose at all.
There's a lot of drill tips in here. Whole stack of them.
I should start taking some. Oh yeah, they look pretty good, eh? I'll stick one of those in my pack because I don't even have any of those, you know. You see them all the time. I got to start collecting them.
Yeah.
Especially because I have that gun. They look like they're probably new, eh? Yeah. Oh, there's an old glove. Oh, so this is a dead end. It doesn't go anywhere. So we're just going to head down this manway here. We got it tied off at the top. And go down a different way than we came up. So we got two tie points. We've got it tied to that log. And also we have it tied up to the back there. So it's good to have 2 points if you can. You never know when something's going to fail. You can probably almost go down to the ladders. You don't even hardly need the rope much there, I guess, eh? Don't hurt. You never know when one of them ladders is going to rot out on you. After 100 years, those ladders, they...
Yeah, that one's peeling right off.
Some of them, you know, you just walk along and every rung breaks as you come along.
Yeah, that's what
I'm just going to continue on down this. Kind of start that rope, see how strong it is. Well, I can almost climb down that ladder on the other side.
Yeah, it looks like it caved in.
Yeah. So you're looking like you're right at the bottom there? Yeah, that's it. Right. You can get down there, no problem, eh? There is a great big pool up here that I got to bring a wetsuit in one of these days and try to explore. I don't know where it goes. It's like the ice palace, except it's a pool.
Funny how one can be frozen solid and...
Yeah, you know, it's a lot warmer in here, but this tunnel went right through the mountain and ended up coming out at the Phoenix Pit. And it hooked up to this great big shaft called Victoria Shaft, but there's no signs of it anymore. We're trying hard to get connected into it. We haven't been able to so far. Ties, look at that flowstone here. So that's just calcium and stuff that's flowing down on the rock here.
Oh,
Cold?
feel the puddle.
Is it cold? Yeah.
Got a beautiful puddle of flowstone in there.
There we go. 6 Drifts JL. Yeah, this is where I went up with Jimmy. Well, Jimmy didn't go up. He stayed down here. There's 6 drifts that were all tied together up there.
Mountain more?
A little, you know, not a hell of a lot, eh? But look at that barrel, isn't that in awesome shape? The barrel almost looks like it was just set there.
Nice.
No, I think the pool's about the same as it was. Yeah.
Oh boy, is that ever a nice one, eh?
This is where I was thinking I would take a wetsuit in here, because I the echo in here, eh? But it's because the water reflects sound so well. Water reflects sound perfectly, but I think it goes around that corner, eh? So I was going to bring a raft or a wetsuit or something in here someday and see if I can continue on there and see where that goes. There's a bit of a little slope in here. They mine that out a little bit. You smell the rats, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there would have been an ore chute here, but now it's all kind of collapsed. So the rail car just came in here,
Yeah,
and then they,
got a wire right there.
yeah, and then they loaded it up, eh? So that's what happens. Those over time, those ore chutes kind of collapse. And, yeah. See, look at the size of these timbers in here. There's massive timbers in here. So there's the setup for this gate here. See, they would have had a gate kind of similar to what I had in the shop there. The hardware to shut it off, so.
There's a gate you're talking about.
Yeah, it would have been on there. So this is the end. They call that the face. Oh, look at this nice looking rock in here, eh? Nice looking blue stuff in here. Beautiful colors. You see colors in mines that you don't see.
Yeah. Out on the surface, it's all oxidized.
Yeah, because you don't have the sun in there. So that's as far as they went there. Sometimes you see some really cool rocks in the face. I don't know why. You think, oh, why didn't they keep going? But yeah.
There's a rat's nest too.
Yeah, pretty old one.
That's big too.
Massive timbers in this ore chute. Very well done. Been here for 100 years. Probably be here for another 50 years at least, eh?
That's nice work.
Look at all the wedges and stuff in here.
Yeah.
See, they
Gets
tighten it
pressure.
all up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
This is a model of the Granby smelter in Grand Forks. It was the second largest smelter in the British Commonwealth at the time. It was built around 1900 and it ceased operations in 1919. So there was 2 railways to go into Phoenix, and all the ore came to there. There was trains running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stopped except when there was a strike or a shortage of coal.